Action! Action! Morning, everybody.
Good morning, Mayor.
You look nice this morning, Attorney Smith.
The only reason you're saying that is because you want me to comment on you actually dressing up.
What?
In
I
the
didn't
morning.
even notice.
You're not.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not in a.
I'm wearing a suit.
You're not in a tank top and flip flops.
I'm a professional.
You look like a mayor today.
What's the date today?
What is the
22nd?
date?
Double two.
God, it does not
Double
feel
deuces.
like September 22nd.
Never does.
It feels way more.
Well, I'll tell you, it's just another example of when you get older, the year just rolls. I mean, like.
I'm in the quick.
Yeah, it's
like I'm
going
at
down
what's
quick.
that show? The one with Bill Murray.
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, totally.
Without a doubt, it's
Like
like.
every day when I do the coffee in the morning, I'm like, seems like I was just here.
Didn't I just do this?
Like yesterday.
And
the
it was
day
a year
before,
later.
and the
It's
day
like
before.
it's Christmas, it's New Year's, it's Easter, it's
It keeps getting faster. Before you know it, we're going to be 75. Talking about the good old days in our podcast.
That's close. Remember when we did remember the podcast?
Yeah, we had a podcast. 150 people listened to us at
That's
one
how
time.
Tom's going to sound, I guess, when he's 75, John. I'm going
I
to
know.
try to keep going with,
I'll still
this
be
nice,
I'll be very
nice
nasally
voice.
still.
Do you think you're nasally?
I heard that. I read one of the
assume I'm
reviews.
nasally.
One of the reviews was very mean to me.
On
Well,
Apple?
they just want to
Yeah.
they just
on
want to
Apple.
pick. They just want to pick on you.
I didn't read
They
the
did a
nasal
good job.
review.
It was like very monotone or something.
Kevin has a great voice.
It did
and
say that.
It
that
started
was the
that one.
Yep,
I think it was
yep.
Jana.
I like that. I approved of that review.
I did not. I put
Never made
the veto. I'm minority partner of this enterprise.
You're important. You're an important part of this, I think.
I know, but
Remember?
I'm a minority partner. If you guys look
the
at the
engine.
LLC paperwork,
Um,
I'm a minority partner.
Let's-
Morning, everybody.
Good morning. I just want to remind everybody to like and follow our podcast on Facebook. Left to Center Podcast is where you can find us, and hopefully you're doing that right now. Watching.
Oh, we're Lindsay list today, so you're doing Lindsay?
Yes, I'm fine.
like-
And now you want to talk about sounding a lot worse than someone. This is not as good as Lindsay would have done.
Absolutely true.
But I'm sure Lindsay's doing something.
I hope
important
she's
today.
getting a lot of rest this morning.
I don't think she's sleeping in. She's always busy.
Yeah.
You can also follow us on Twitter at LockPod, as Lindsay likes to say, LOC
LockPod.
Pod. Also, that's also the name of Tom's new storage venture.
It's a
Storage
great-
facility venture.
We're going to branch out of the
Right, John?
podcast
We just
world into the self-storage.
LockPod.
It's a natural step.
It is
actually
natural.
When you fail at podcasting, just go into self-storage.
Or we could take our studio and put it in a self-storage unit.
That
Like one of the
might be
bigger
where
ones.
it belongs. Or listen to us, of course, or you can follow us on YouTube. Just search for Left to Center Podcast. Please like and share us. It helps us keep some confidence.
And
in the
review
morning.
us. Review nicely.
Yeah, definitely review us on Apple. 'Cause
why
you
are
can
they beating
subscribe
me
to
up?
us.
Like,
Because you're the elected official. You're the easy target.
that's what I would like some love.
All right.
Just every once
you
in a
deserve
while.
some.
For goodness sakes.
Give the
don't
mayor
you-
some
I
love,
just lost
please.
an election and you still beat me up?
He's still coming after you. Like
Come
enough.
on, man. I just lost an election.
His feelings
Give
have
me
been
a
hurt
freaking
recently.
break.
That's a good point. When does it end, people?
It's not going to end
It
for a
doesn't
while.
end. It doesn't
Dude,
end.
if I ever, I'm having a bad day, I'm just going to tell you it's because of the election loss.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a
you're
good-
treating me like
how
this.
long can you use that excuse?
I'm
though?
gonna try.
You're gonna write it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say
You're
at
gonna be
least
hearing this
another
for sure.
6 years.
Yeah. A solid
Let's keep
term.
having guests on to talk about the election.
I'm gonna get a therapist on here to back me up and say this guy.
It's like a 6-year PTSD issue.
I think I'm covered through the 20s.
Like maybe every time there's an election, you just have like PTSD about it.
I did see. Kevin drove me by my billboard the other day. We still have a billboard up. I literally got cold sweats.
I didn't like it either. It was like, oh man.
I saw a couple. There's a couple still out. A
It's
couple
just stuff
stragglers. Couple
it just-
stragglers.
Just reminds me.
Hey,
of,
if you can see a McDermott billboard,
A lot of
do me a
hard work.
favor. Light the thing on fire.
No. Don't
Not
do
a billboard. Yard sign though.
that. No, we don't want. Keep those. We
Really?
might need them. Anyway,
Yeah.
you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts on the app.
Where is
by
Lindsay when
searching
we
for
need her?
Left of Center Show. Please subscribe, and obviously, please give the mayor 5 stars. So,
5 stars would be great.
What are
Just
we
a
doing
couple-
today?
Couple nice words.
what are we gonna do today?
We're gonna do our sponsors.
Good job. Let's
Yeah.
do our sponsors
You want
before
me
we
to
talk
start?
about what's going to happen.
Lindsay
I'll-
should be here. She keeps the thing on the track.
Lindsay-
She keeps
Can you
the
tell?
train
The train keeps
on
the engine on the
tracks.
track.
And we're going to get into that later
You
about
guys-
the train.
Yes,
We
are.
keep talking about how much we need her. She's gonna ask for a pay raise.
Good point. Well, it's not.
So
I mean,
we
0 to 0 is tough.
We got to come off as though we don't need her, and she's lucky to be here.
There's only up, Lindsay. You can only go up from where you're at.
What if up is parallel? Though?
We can- well, that-
like, what is it up?
That's true.
She's an
Is it a-
intern.
you talking about like parallel universe stuff? Like
No.
no.
She's an
Parallel.
intern for the podcast. That's how we get away with the zero pay raise,
Yeah,
zero pay grade.
she's a big important part of this. She's a member.
Very.
You got to wonder if she'll come back after hearing this
She's
episode.
like all of a sudden Friday we're like, where's Lindsay?
Yeah. This is
She's like, yeah,
real busy.
oh yeah, pay raise, huh? Mm-hmm.
Real busy she is.
This locomotive and caboose is already off the
the locomotive.
There's no such thing as a caboose. We established that a couple episodes ago.
That shows you what I'm talking about.
All right, sponsors, so we can get into what we're going to do today.
All right, thank you to our sponsors, Attorney Alfredo Estrada, Attorney Alfredo
Great
Estrada
start.
at Burke, Costanza, and Carberry. Locations in Maryville and Chicago. Alfredo is one of the most experienced lawyers in the area in regards to immigration and civil litigation. Call Alfredo at 219-769-1313. Adelante con Alfredo.
The Kyle Dempsey State Farm Agency is one of our great sponsors. Are you in the market for insurance? Do you want to find an agent that you can trust? The Kyle Dempsey State Farm Agency is just that. Kyle's offices are conveniently located in Hammond and Cherville. State Farm has new low auto insurance rates as well as great rates for home, renters, business, and even life insurance. Call Kyle Dempsey's office at 219-845-1571 for more information.
Misprint Printing, Munster and Hammond locations. Rick Baltensberger and his team are there for absolutely all of your printing needs. He's responsive, he's fast, and he's good. Banners and signs of all sizes. I messed up because I did the point.
Yeah, you got off track there.
You can't point.
No, you just got to focus.
Like I have to focus, but if I like try to throw hands in,
Keep tunnel vision.
Okay.
Tunnel vision.
Sorry about that. Let's start over. No,
All right.
that's all right. He's responsive. He's fast.
Forget it,
And
Rick.
he's
It's fine.
John's gonna edit this later. And he's good. Banners and signs of all sizes, from wrapping cars to business cards. No job is too big or too small. Call Rick or Teresa at 836-251-7.
7. It's the magic number.
It was a 6.
It's a test for you.
All right. 219-836-2517.
The Emerald Green Restaurant at Lost Marsh Golf Course is a fine dining experience located at beautiful Lost Marsh, just off the Indiana Toll Road Calumet Avenue exit. Come enjoy the patio with a great view of Chicago or dine inside at the beautiful clubhouse and bar. It's open year-round. It's open to the public, not a private course, of course. And we also have a horse, of course. They also have a banquet hall.
People are
going
to stop paying for ads on our show.
They're like, those guys
sure.
can't
They're
even read like
brutalizing
five words in a row.
For sure. You guys have messed up every sponsor script.
They also
so
have a
far.
banquet hall.
I
for
call
all
it,
your catering
we're being
needs.
special. We're being special. We're giving them special attention.
It's
Because
true.
people are, which one did Kevin just screw up? Somebody's going
I
to say,
think it was Kyle
Emerald
Dempsey.
Green. It was Kyle Dempsey. It was Emerald Green. It was Alfredo Estrada. Actually, they messed up all
They're
of
0
them.
for 4. That's
Yeah.
a terrible batting
Those guys
average.
suck, but their show is good.
You could be in the like MLB Hall of Fame with like just 1 for 4. Like
Yeah.
250,
I'm a
maybe like
risk
in between
dude.
275
I like it.
batting average. We can't
So
even do
basically,
that.
if we get one a day right, we're good.
1 out of 8's pretty. I don't think that makes
Okay.
the Hall of Fame.
Let's go
like
for
the
2.
3 out of 8. 2 or 3 out of 8. somewhere
3 out of
between.
8, we're in the Hall of Fame.
Without a doubt.
I'm shooting for 2.
I wonder if like the advertising hall, the radio Hall of Fame has the same percentages.
They're like, only screwed up 25%.
We're not voting for that podcast.
You know what may help? I've noticed this on other shows. The sponsorship's a little more natural. It's like
Really?
it's scripted, but it's like for example, it's like, hey Tom,
So we just
you know
start
what I've
BSing?
noticed? I really wanted a drink the other day and a good meal, so I went to Emerald Green. You know, it's just stuff like
See, just
That's
like
a
that,
good-
John.
How about this? Today I was hungry, and I went to Emerald Green for lunch.
How was it?
Oh my
Oh my God, it was so good. I had the Emerald sandwich.
Last time I was there, I had chicken Caesar and the sliders.
Really?
Boom! That's it. That is.
We
the
don't even need to do
sponsorship
this.
Plug.
Like, why are
That's it.
Why are we preparing?
Yes.
Okay.
Visit
hey,
their website at Emerald Green at Lost
let's
Marsh.
do one for Alfredo.
Yep.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes.
I'm getting the crap suit out of me. You know that?
Hey, Tom, I have some illegal immigration problems.
Right?
I'd
Oh,
like
my
to get-
God.
I'd
My
like
friend,
to get my friend's
Attorney Alfredo Estrada.
a DACA recipient.
He's an expert.
Go to Alfredo if you have a DACA.
What's his
issue.
phone number, Kevin?
769-1313.
Wow.
Look
Thank
at that.
you
I knew
very
that
much.
from heart.
Thank you very much.
Not from heart.
This is the way to do it, guys.
From now
All right.
on.
Yep.
See?
We'll try the second round after 8 o'clock. All right. What are we doing today? Thank you. To our
Oh, we're doing a
sponsors.
show. We don't have a guest
It's not
today.
just all about sponsors. even though
So
they
today's
do help
show,
us stay
I
on
know,
this
like
Sunday.
we're losing our numbers here, but today's show, we've done some good work. I don't know if you guys noticed.
We've had a lot of fun.
I mean, good in our opinion. You guys probably think it's crap, but we think it's decent. It's like
been
barely
fun.
above like high school like level, but like still good.
B minus, B's.
I don't know.
Solid
I've seen some
C
good
plus.
High school.
High
stuff.
school?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah,
than
okay.
this.
Middle school. We're like better than the typical middle school stuff you'd see. Why don't we go through a few of the clips that we've done? I think
we thought a best of would be.
Everybody's turning off.
Yeah, well, no, I think best of is. I think going through it because number one, look, we've had a lot of fun. These clips are available. You can go back and watch them. But this is kind of our way of saying check out these clips because these are our picks.
I like it. So
really
we shifted through all the shit, right? And we sifted through the shit, and we pulled out these gold mines for you, like these nuggets,
these wonderful gold nuggets.
These nuggets.
So
you don't have to sift through anything.
Out of a lot of the bad reading of sponsorships, this is like
there was a lot of crap in there. Let me tell you the truth, and it took me hours of digging through crap to find these little nuggets. All right. And we're just gonna play them for you.
What are we gonna do?
Let's do this
number one.
This is a nugget right here. You're gonna like this one. I was talking about how Congressman Pete and I went to dinner a few years back and how horribly wrong it went. You remember that video?
Yeah, actually, the really good thing about this, I think, is the way it's a window into some very like kind of a personal experience about you and the congressman.
Yeah, it was like if you were going on a date with somebody that you knew and you went on a date and it just went really bad, right?
Well, I thought you said you had fun on the. You had fun.
It was just
ended
badly.
Ended badly.
It'd be like if you go on a date, and of course you don't date because you're married. I am too. But just imagine back when you were single, if you go on a date and you think like things are going well in this dinner, right? And you're going along and you're thinking in your head.
Back when we dated, they didn't even have like this Bumble and what's some other ones?
You had to earn it.
What are they called?
Yeah, Tinder. Grindr.
I don't think any. Well, I'm assuming none of us stay on that one.
That came quick.
Yeah, John. Are you?
What's going on over there?
What's the other one? Like
Blender.
What's the other popular one?
eHarmony.
eHarmony. Okay.
He's busting out all these weird ones.
Like
Grindr. What the hell?
Real popular one.
The one where you swipe.
I don't know.
John.
Ashley Madison.
We're not. I don't want to be on that list.
Don't know what you're talking about.
That one got hacked recently.
Not me, baby.
And I hope none
of us were on that. Just none of us.
So anyway, it'd be like if you're on a date and you're having these thoughts in your head, like,
how is it going to end?
This is going to end.
It's going pretty well,
right? And then it just goes horribly wrong after that.
Let's listen.
All right.
And
we had a great dinner. I mean, 2.5 hours long, a couple bottles of wine, talking politics all over the region. I'm the chairman. He's the congressman. I'm like, this is what I'm freaking talking about.
This is what I've been waiting for.
This is the relationship I should have had from day one with this guy. Like, we're having a great time. It's just two guys talking, right? Talking politics, having a good time, enjoying each other's company.
Both Notre Dame guys.
Congressman's both Notre Dame lawyers. Congressman's like, I'm picking this up. You're not picking up. I'm like, Congressman, thank you. Like, hell yeah.
When are we going out to dinner next?
Freaking man. Picking up my meal. We're having a good time in D.C. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about, Kevin. That's the kind of relationship I wanted to have with him,
You would think that's what most mayors want to have.
So then I'm like, I'm going to drop the bomb. So I'm like, Congressman Pete, towards the end. Like, we're getting ready to wrap up. I'm like, hey, listen. I go, when I lined up this meal, I had to go through Mark Lopez. I think that's bullshit. Like, I shouldn't have to go through your chief of staff. I'm a mayor. I'm your chairman. Like, why don't we have each other's text numbers? It doesn't make sense. Like, if I want to reach you, I'll text you. I go, I have the governors. I have the senators. I have all these politicians. We all communicate with each other. We don't bug each other. I'm not going to ask you for jobs and shit like that. We're just going to, like, if I need you, I don't think I should have to go through your staffer, Lopez, right? And he's like, yeah, I see where you're coming from. I'm like, great. So could I have your cell phone number? And he goes, He goes,
That's a strange reaction.
I'd rather have you go through Mark Lopez if you don't mind. And I'm just like, true freaking story. I'll never forget it. I was just sitting there like,
first time?
So I'm sitting there
like, you
like,
haven't been listening to JOB then.
Dude, can you freaking believe that? Like, what is it, 1970? Are you paying like per text? Like, are you trying to save a couple bucks?
My flip phone won't accept.
I know, like, each text I get cost me $1.50.
My congressional flip phone.
Like, I was like, after that, I walked out of there.
I think they give you a phone in Congress.
By the way, he drove me back to my hotel that day.
That was nice of him.
Yeah. And, I was just like done with that guy. As soon as that happened, I'm
really?
Like, so I still got to go through
like that's Lopez. Number one
that
issue?
That was so offensive to me. It still is. You don't think that's offensive?
He's your congressman until December 31st.
Or
maybe it's like January
4th. He hasn't been my congressman since that day. And then on that day, I said, I'm running against this guy. I just didn't.
Never got the chance.
Never got the chance. He's lucky. I would have beat him.
Well,
he loves me.
Talk about a date ending badly.
He loves me, obviously, right? I mean, he loves me enough not to give me a cell phone number.
Well, it's interesting because when we played that originally, like when that was actually live, I actually got several texts, I'm sure you did too, that everybody was like, I can't believe that is so interesting to me to hear Tom talk about that. It was like I said earlier, I said like a window into like a really personal experience between you and the congressman. So I think it's a great story, and it's a very interesting. And
I'm glad you guys enjoy my pain. I'm really glad that you guys all enjoy when I get
category.
Humiliated, and everybody enjoys it so much. That's really cool.
Self-deprecation is always funny.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, Kevin and I implemented a show and tell system. That
Speaking of self-deprecation,
only I'm participating in. I've noticed so far.
I'm coming with some, but you have such good stuff that
I do have a lot of.
There needs to be a lull, and I was going to say you have a lot of stuff that people have given you.
Yes.
I mean, your office is just one example. It doesn't even count what you have at the house.
I'm slowly moving it to our back cave.
It's going to be over here.
Into the back cave is going to be where all my
so
bull
basically,
crap
sometime
is.
in about 2 years, I'll be able to
you'll
bring
see
something
this
in.
whole thing it'll be like a Kevin's.
There has been one Notre Dame.
When you store stuff.
Oh, like a hoarder?
Yeah.
Tom's hoarding.
No, Kevin's hoarding. Oh, the back cave is hoarding.
Yeah, the back cave's hoarding.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you haven't even brought any Notre Dame stuff in yet. No Cub stuff has hit. So we got to get on that.
All right, I got plenty.
It's a big table.
Yes.
It's a big. By the way,
table.
when the hell are we gonna get some shelves in here?
Here we go.
It's up to Mr. Vesmar to tell me when that's happening.
Yeah, what the hell, Vesmar?
Not just producer, but general contractor.
General contractor / producer.
Like, who's
I wonder if you
gonna
have
do
to pull a permit for that.
Doesn't he realize I'm a
putting
mayor,
some
dude?
shelves
Mayors
in.
don't put shelves up. Like,
Well, we just asked Marissa if mayor can put shelves up.
I could do it.
I'm going to say Marissa puts the shelves up.
You're damn right she does. She's an artist, dude. Mine would be crooked and negligent. Marissa would do it very well.
She's a perfectionist.
She is a perfectionist. So anyway, you want to get into our next story?
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite. This was one of my picks. So, we had Tom Sr. on, and he is just a gem of a person anyway, and just a lot of fun. Love him to death. And one of the things Tom promised was, hey, Dad, remember when you got that award from the Lincoln or from the Republican Party, and they gave you a bust of yourself? And so, of course, Tom Sr. says, yeah, you can have it. Come get it, son.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Tom.
So
you can come get it. So Tom went and got it. And
I drove miles for this show.
We brought back this, which, of course, to some, I'm not sure anymore, but
it still looks like my dad.
It is a bust of Tom Sr., according to some. Of course, to everyone else, in their right minds, it's a bust of Abraham Lincoln. So here we go.
If I remember correctly, John Vesmar, didn't we do a poll online about this?
We did.
What did the poll results?
It did not go in the direction of Kevin and I's thinking.
It was not reflective of normalcy.
I'm sorry. The public has spoken, right? Sorry, like Kevin, attorney.
Tom's family has spoken.
Back. Sorry, your client lost, Kevin, and Kevin's like, this jury doesn't know what the hell is going. That's what I'm saying.
I've had that conversation
Just like
before,
accept the jury's verdict, accept the verdict, and move forward. For God's sakes.
I believe it went like 60-40, which is just insane.
Hey, sometimes elections go against you, okay? Sometimes that shit happens.
Yeah, but you know what? And Tom thinks like people don't like him. Like who doesn't?
Good point.
They don't like me. Yet 60-40 in favor of that's Tom
It
Sr.
looks just like him. Even right now, it looks like my dad.
All right, let's play the clip. The story. Just let's remember the story while the mayor's getting this trinket together here.
It's heavy.
This was said to be the bust of Tom McDermott Sr.
It resembles him.
This
is what he tells us, keep in mind.
If you lift it up and you look from here and you look at the nose and the mouth and the chin, it
looks
does.
like the guy on the $5 bill to me.
It says his big name down here, Thomas M. McDermott.
Republican of the Year,
Republican
1983.
of the Year. Senior, by the way. Let's point that out. But it's a bust of Lincoln. But my whole family was told this is his bust. And it was on top of his damn library. So you just look up, you're like, damn, my dad's got a bust of his head.
Kevin, now we know
and then I took it down. It's freaking Abraham Lincoln.
Now we know why the mayor was not an aviator in the Navy.
That's right. Yeah, right? Come on. It's a little resemblance of him. I think my dad thinks this is him.
That would be the best part of the
story. I still
story.
think he thinks it's him. I'm like, hey, don't forget
So he wasn't
to give
lying to you. He just really thought they gave him a bust of himself.
To this day, I think he thinks that's him.
I got to confirm that with Alec.
Yeah, about 20 years
I'm telling
from
you,
now.
my dad thinks this is him. He's been telling us our whole life. This is my bust.
We now have a bust of Abraham Lincoln / Tom McDermott Sr.
Dude, that
here
looks
in
a
the
little bit
studio
like my dad. That's a young Abe. Abe was ugly. And
he
good looking.
aged.
I agree.
Look at the
chip on the nose.
Look at the 1860 photo versus the 1865.
Well, this is
photo.
way before Abe was president, obviously.
Yeah.
So anyway, don't tell my dad. He thinks it's him. I mean, we don't want to.
Well, we know he doesn't know how to figure out how to listen to a podcast, so he's not listening right now.
He doesn't got much going anyway. Come on, we don't need to tell him. He thinks this is his bust.
You're right. All right, good job.
I still think it looks just like my dad.
Let's not rehash this. Let's just keep going.
It looks just like my dad.
All right,
Especially
well,
with the Corona mask on.
Well, that helps.
Except for my dad wouldn't wear a Democratic Corona
No,
mask.
you're right. That gives it away. All right, well, let's.
But Abraham Lincoln wouldn't wear a Democratic Corona
No, he
mask
wouldn't.
either.
Today, maybe. Who knows?
Right,
The
so
way
it's
that
not
poll went, it would be like a good campaign slogan for whatever's next. Like McDermott, more popular than Abraham Lincoln.
There you go. This is
More
McDermott.
popular. I like
looks
that.
looks better than
John.
a young Abe Lincoln.
John, I'm in the market for a new campaign manager. Did you know that?
Oh my God, I'm going to get my life back.
I mean,
Is this serious?
I don't know if you noticed my last one lost. Did you see that, John?
Oh boy, cut to a commercial.
Yes.
I love Kevin Smith.
We had a tough candidate.
It was a freaking coronavirus.
We've gone through that.
all
All right,
right,
let's
all
stick
right.
with your dad because
All
your
right.
dad's love your dad, and there's just more. There's so much more we can talk about with
Dude,
him.
we could do a whole show on my dad's
Of
silliness.
not making fun of him, just having fun with him.
I make fun of him. It's fine. But basically, we had hours we could sift through on my dad, and we had a big debate on which one we should focus on because there's so many we could have focused on. And we thought the one that best exemplifies who Tom McDermott Sr. is when a 72-year-old man decides
That he thinks he's 35
I'm going to take up mountain biking
and clip in.
and clip in. Like, I don't care
And what
about-
happened? Let's hear what happened. Let's hear what happened to Tom Sr.
So
when
how
he
wrong
clipped
could this
in.
go? Like, the first time he gets a brand new mountain bike, what could possibly go wrong?
Let's listen.
How many times in your life you mountain biked?
Once.
We talked about it last show.
How many
so-
times will you mountain bike again?
I bought a bike, and it was
It's a nice bike.
Yeah,
he could have.
Was
$5,000. I bought it.
Which is like twice the value of the bike I ride.
So anyway, but we sold it.
I know you did. Like,
Yeah. No, I did.
my favorite part though was he calls me and they're like, first off, I'm campaigning, right? And my dad is like, okay, I'm going to be gone for a month, right?
It was like March, right? Mid-March.
It was
like
before
right
the
after COVID.
Right.
Right. It was
Yeah.
before it started getting really bad. He flew out
That's
to
right.
Arizona, and we're like, I don't blame you. Get the hell out of here.
I stayed for your birthday. That was
Yeah, that's
why I
right. That was
left the
last
next
March 4th,
day.
right?
Yeah.
There you go.
So he flies out there, and then he has a buddy out there that mountain bikes, and Dad's like Iron Man, right?
Mhm,
He's like, I'm going to be a mountain biker. You know, what a great time to pick it up. I'm 72.
Sure.
Like,
Sounds
this
like
is
a great idea.
I need a new rugged sport. And
And make sure you clip me in.
Yeah, so do you want clips? Hell yeah, I want clips. Like, I don't want to be able to pull my feet off the pedals. I want to be able to go, right?
Another smart idea.
So he hit a cactus.
Well, tell us what happened.
Oh, first of all, you're not ever supposed to tell my age.
Did I say it? I did.
Yeah,
I know.
you did, yeah.
Sorry.
It's
We should have had people guess.
it's illegal.
Hey, John, could you erase where I said 72?
What did you say? 72?
72.
Okay.
But, like, we're going to erase that, so
Okay.
Go.
we'll do it post.
So anyway, so we go mountain bike, right? And
He has a 51-year-old son.
Yes,
That's
he
freaking
does.
old as
That should
hell.
tell you how old he is.
Yeah. But anyway, mountain biking.
So anyway, I had a choice. Yeah, we were cruising along, and about a week before, there was a lot of rain in the desert and a lot of ruts. And so I hit a rut and went through a cactus and went down on my hip because, as you said, I was locked in. And
Can you imagine seeing that, by the way? You just see this guy on a bike, he hits a cactus, he's not locking out, like he's not clipping out,
Dude,
he just goes down.
I guarantee you, the guy you were riding with felt like crap.
Oh, he did.
Oh, you had to.
Oh, he went like probably here. He's a great guy, great friend. He calls me every day.
Did you know that you broke your hip right away?
I knew I hurt that was hurt. I got up and I was a couple miles still in the desert, so we tried to walk out, and I said, I can't walk.
Wow.
So anyway, I said,
You
let's,
rode out, right?
Yeah, I said, let's ride out. And then I fell.
That's hardcore.
And,
It is.
Screw this!
I went
I'm
through a
riding out.
cactus. Did you clip back in?
Of course.
Yeah, right? Clip back in.
I fell 2 more times.
Get the hell out of here. This is a freaking hot mess.
So anyway.
Goddamn, this guy is like, I am never taking this guy mountain biking again. Breaks his damn hip, falls all the time. Like,
Do a PSA, a public service announcement on why not to mountain bike.
Yeah, so anyway, we went to his house and we started drinking margaritas.
that's when Dad called me.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, my little temporary trip to Arizona.
It's gonna be a little more permanent.
I have to get a surgery now, and yeah.
So anyway, took me 2 days to go to the hospital. tried to.
But that was like when he was going to the hospital, it sucked because it was like right as things were getting hot. And like they were saying, if you need any elective surgery, do not want to go because we didn't know. At the time, it's like
I
you
remember
could
that.
catch COVID
Yeah.
by just going to the
Yeah.
hospital,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And Dad's like, I have to go in and get an operation. We're like, what the hell? You flew out there to be safe, and now you're going to a hospital? Are you crazy?
It was not a good situation.
Yeah, it was.
We were all worried about you.
But the good thing is his new sport is skydiving, so I'm sure that's a lot better. So.
No, I'm still I'm climbing the dunes.
So, I mean, that was in March. I mean, it's August. How's your hip?
Good. I'm really good.
Except for the golf game.
My golf sucks.
It's gotta be the
Allegretti's
hip,
beating
though,
the
right?
shit out of me.
Yeah, he is. Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I never cuss.
What?
Shit is
I
not.
love it. Is that's two. Like there is no way I'm not cussing the rest of the show. Tom Senior, you see where I get it from,
Lindsay,
right? You see where I get it from?
Shit
Lindsay
is,
can't believe
Love
it.
it.
Lindsay,
He said
shit's not.
He's 4 times.
Keep
It's
on
like,
cranking,
hey.
baby. Keep on. Now you see why our show has the E. It's not Tom McDermott's fault. It's not my fault.
That's a body function. It's not.
Well, that's why we have the E.
I love it. I love it.
All right. Well, I think we all know now what happened when a 70-some-year-old man decides to be 35 and clip into a mountain bike.
The funny thing is, Kevin, he actually called me and told me he got a mountain bike. I'm like, what? And then and he didn't tell me he got clips, though. So
That was probably, well, the good thing is actually he recovered well. He's back on his feet. He's golfing, and he's back to normal.
So this is my dad, perfect example. So his golf game is messed up because of his hip.
Of course.
So he bought a boat.
He's got something else
So
to
it's
do.
like,
Well,
I don't know. I'm almost better off with him.
Like we said, we had a lot of Tom Senior, and one of the things we didn't play was him hiking, but we have a photo of that John's going to put up that'll show you it didn't go much better. Good job,
yeah.
John. There you go.
Right?
There it is.
Yeah, I mean,
Just sitting down
Let's just leave it right
for
at
the
that.
record, though, that was Piestewa in Arizona, which is, I don't know, it's a pretty solid hike. I want
It's
to
a
say
double diamond.
double diamond. It's like a giant staircase, but coming down is completely intimidating.
It's rough,
And you could see like how high you are coming down.
which is why he should have been on his butt coming down.
He did that for a long time. If you'll notice, I'm standing in front of him,
You were covering him
ready to accept his weight if he
as
fell
he stumbled.
down. Yeah,
Yes.
nothing happened like that though. So,
Well, that's Tom Senior.
but you know what? Like one thing about our show is like we like to focus on our family. Little did they know that they're part of our show also. I think they're starting to realize it now. And one unsuspecting family member called up very concerned about our show, and I love this riff. It was Kevin's mom called, very concerned with my sailor mouth.
The cuss counter.
The cuss counter started off real high, but I love this clip, Kevin. And your mom's a wonderful lady. I love the fact that she's concerned, and
Very concerned about us.
I actually toned it down quite a bit after that. Right?
See?
So
It
Mrs.
worked.
Smith, we listened, but you know, unfortunately for Mrs. Smith, she's definitely part of the show now.
Now
So
she is.
she is definitely part of the show, and let's do this clip about Kevin's mom is concerned. I like this one.
All right.
The Times did a story about our podcast, which is nice. In the print version, it said
Mayor
McDermott
starts political podcast.
right? And we're like, oh. And then you
Isn't
read the
that
story,
nice?
it's like, oh, how nice. And then the online version, Mayor starts expletive-filled political podcast. Let the phone calls begin.
I was like, whoa.
Didn't your mom call?
My mom called me. She only read I guarantee you she only read the print
She
version.
didn't read the
and she was
online?
like, that's not a very flattering article for you and Tom. I was like, Mom, I mean, it's a podcast. We're just kind of having fun. Well, I just don't want people to get the wrong idea. I know you and Tom, and you
Yeah,
guys
your
are
mom
good
is
boys.
lovely.
And you guys,
Thank
I was
you,
like,
Mom.
Mom, it's going to be fine. I mean, she, not only did she call me, then she called Jana yesterday for like a half hour.
Called
and
the
about
wife.
like how she was very
Called the
concerned
wife?
about the swearing.
Dude, you called
and
the wife.
very
That's just-
concerned about the, the image.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
My
so
dad cussed more than me. Did you tell her that?
I
Where do you think I get it from? Right? He comes in here and starts dropping S-bombs like they're going out of style. He's like, oh, that's a body function.
Yeah. Well, that was all about my mom and her concern, and she really was concerned. Like, I'm talking like she was like, this is going to ruin the mayor's career
Too
and
late,
your career.
Mrs. Smith.
And but the graph shows that the cuss counter went down. So good job, Mom.
In fact, if you look at the cuss counter graph, you'll notice a spike when Matt Reardon was on the show.
big spike.
But other than that, it's been
Valleys.
less than 10 per show.
I think we're kind of in a groove now.
Even
You
though
can-
the Times labeled us expletive-filled.
Yeah, that's what.
Best
That was the
headline.
day she called. She's like, did you see the article in the Hammond Times? Of course, she still calls it the Hammond Times.
Who doesn't?
Well, you're right. I do. But we're all from Hammond. And she was just beside herself. So thanks,
man, that
Mom.
sucks.
It's worked.
Thanks, Mrs. Smith.
Good work.
Thanks for being part of our show. We love you. And speaking of the Times,
And speaking of show and tell,
did you realize that I was named best mayor of the region for
I think
2020?
you've made it. If you've listened to the show, I think people do realize that.
Really? I don't know why you would ever think about something like that, but I mean,
That's the
you
only
can't
prop
argue-
that he keeps pulling off the trinket shelf, John.
I'm getting
you
a
notice that we have
t-shirt.
to retape it every show.
I'm getting T-shirts and sending it to my fellow mayors.
This is a good reminder, though, to the Times, like when they're kind of, playing the hate with you. Like this, like, don't forget, guys,
Be careful.
you've named me the
The
best mayor.
That's right, they
So-
did.
Are you
I
really
mean,
getting shirts made and sending it to region mayors?
I was thinking about it. Wouldn't that be funny?
Funniest thing I've ever heard.
Dave Duran's got to wear that.
You have to do that.
and
like
the back
Christmas
it'll say, like
presents.
Mayor Dave.
Just a picture of me with the best mayor logo.
That's the funny. It'd be like great Christmas presents
Oh,
to the
that
mayors.
is what I'm doing.
That's it. You have to.
They're not listening, so I don't worry.
Someone that does T-shirts is listening right now.
By the way, two mayors listen regularly. Mayor Bill from Lake Station, Mayor Dave told me, how good of a job we're doing. And
Thank
I
you, guys.
Tip the cap to my fellow mayors. I know
Both
Mayor
great
Brian.
guys and great
Actually,
mayors.
Mayors we all stick together. We're good people. But yeah, so why don't we do that clip about Mayor Tom being named best mayor of Northwest Indiana?
All right. Let's talk about show and tell.
Speaking of, I want to point out that I was recently. It says 2020 on here.
Regardless of what the Times writes about
They liked me. I'm going to put this on my shirt. I am the best mayor in the region according to the Times. I mean, this is
you,
something
just for this year.
No. This
Oh,
is,
it's forever?
It is forever.
All right.
Yeah. It says forever on it, in this one special. I just want to point
Wow.
that out. So we're putting this in studio. I'm supposed to hang this on my front window, but I've never been very good about following
It gets better. It's
instructions.
going to get better play here.
It will get a lot better play in here. So we're putting it in here. Just to remind people, when the Times tries to beat me up or try to beat up our podcast, they
love
they're
you.
mute. They love me because
love you.
they think I'm the best mayor in the region. So
Thank you to the Times.
thank you, Times. Here you go. I
That
just
was
want to
nice
point
of
that
them.
out.
Thank
It
you,
is
Chris
very
White
nice of them,
and
right?
I thought
Mark
so.
Chase. And
They got like the best like restaurants in the region, the best this, and I love my fellow mayors, by the way. But I mean, I can't argue with the media.
you got some stuff.
They got barrels of ink, so I hear.
That's
do.
what I hear.
Stop
That's what
fighting
I
with
hear.
them.
I am not fighting with them.
fighting with
And
them.
this is not expletive.
Stop throwing
Phil.
their paper.
See, how did we get one more? Oh, I guess I did say the
That's
word.
right.
That's right. That's a perfect example of why you have to be very, very careful about who you name one of the region's best, right?
You never know. Like in months, they might be throwing your product right on the floor.
They're like, who made this decision? You're out of here.
Yeah.
This is
There was a lot of people that were nervous after you.
this is definitely going to backfire.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know. Really, should we really name him best mayor? This
From
could
now
backfire on us.
They're going to get rid of this category altogether.
Let's not do a best mayor.
It's my goal to make sure this category, because think about it, if I annihilate this category forever,
Oh, every year, you mean?
like if they say we can't do this anymore because McDermott made such a big deal of it.
Because he threw our paper after you got
And not only
named.
that, just I've mentioned it 5,000 times since that.
That's good for the Times, though.
But in the
Because
future,
it promotes their best of.
but just think, if they don't name another one ever again,
You retire like you're, like you've retired.
I'm the
as,
best mayor of all
like
time.
Muhammad Ali not fighting again.
that's right. I'm the
Right.
best mayor of all time. And
Wow.
according to the media, can't fight with the
Like
media.
I said, best mayor of the galaxy.
They're always correct. The media.
The
That's what I heard.
100%.
That's my philosophy in life: is coordinate, cooperate, and work with the media. That's how I. That's like my.
In that
That's
order?
my credo.
In that order?
Sure.
I coordinate with them first.
You asked the local media.
Hello,
I
media.
coordinate, I cooperate, and I work
Is this
with.
the media? This is Tom McDermott.
Hi, media. My name is Tom.
All right.
All right.
Now let's get serious. 'cause
We do
this
get
is-
serious sometimes.
Yes.
Well, we had a serious show with Matt Reardon.
Matt Reardon was a great guest.
Yes.
He's somebody I think we both agreed that could fill in for either one of us.
Yes.
And could also be on, for sure, on again.
Gonna happen. He is built for podcast.
He is. Yeah. That's a really good way to put it.
He cursed. I don't know.
We don't. He had
50.
fun. He had fun, but it was serious. I mean, we
No,
did hit
Matt-
some very serious topics.
Matt's
with
a great guest. He's super smart. He knows the region like the back of his hand. Married to Mara Reardon, so he knows what's going on the Democratic side. He knows what's going on the Republican side. He's a perfect guest for the podcast, and you will see him again on Left of Center in the future because
Well-
we liked him that much.
One of the most, I thought, really insightful parts of that pod, Mayor, was when Matt talked about the Curtis Hill incident with Mara.
Yeah.
Because for me, I always thought that Matt kind of was trying to like really push Mara, or not. I don't want to like make it sound like Mara didn't have her own decision, but I just thought it was kind of more
As a
of
husband.
joint. Yeah, like he was pissed.
you grew up
he
with
was
my
angry.
wife.
Yeah,
Right.
And so, but the reality, I found it really interesting. Number one, that Mara drove that boat.
In
and
fact,
I guess, and knowing Mara, it makes sense.
But
Of course
she
would.
was like so aggressive about it. She told Matt to stand down.
Yeah.
She's got this
Yeah.
all lined up, and she did.
Yep. So that was interesting. But Matt's reaction, I think, is a really insightful and interesting clip.
The thing I liked about this also is this is really an exclusive. I don't think Matt's talked about the Curtis Hill, the soon-to-be former Attorney General for the state of Indiana, in these allegations against State Rep Mara Candelaria Reardon. I don't think Matt was supposed to say what he said.
I don't know. I mean, Matt's, he's a
But what I'm
American.
saying-
He can do whatever he
But
wants.
what I'm saying is I think that there's certain things you talk about and there's certain things you don't talk about. And I think Matt might have caught a little bit of heat for his comments on Curtis Hill. That's what makes him so golden, though. I mean, because he was a pissed off husband whose wife was groped by a powerful elected official.
You got to see the real reaction and emotion of Matt Reardon as it related to this incident, for sure.
Right. So why don't we take a look at it, and then we'll see you in a few.
All right.
A couple years ago, at the end of Kevin and I have been to this party. At the end of every party, it's Sine Die.
Sine Die.
Sine Die. Which is
the end of the legislative session.
End of session.
And it's a big party. Like the session, all the legislators are happy. They've been working for months. And they get to finally go home. And the lobbyists are happy. They've been working for months. They get to finally take some time off. We get invited as mayor. Kevin usually would go up there. It's a good time.
Staff, people that worked hard.
Right. You would see elected officials in there, like mayors and obviously attorney generals and things like that.
Some people have been going at it for the last 4 months.
Yeah.
It's a good way to just blow off steam, and
it's a great party.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fun. It used to be fun. By the way, when I first became mayor, it was a lot more fun than it is now. It's not as fun.
It's different.
It's different. But anyway.
So Curtis Hill ruined it for everybody.
Yes, he did.
Big time.
If it wasn't already getting worse, he really ruined it.
Curtis Hill is the Indiana Attorney General.
Yeah.
He's a middle-aged,
outgoing
Attorney General. He's an African American Republican, ally of the president, former prosecutor at Elkhart. I think he was always angling to be Trump's Attorney General. Personally, I think he was always thinking that was his next step was going to be Washington.
U.S. attorney, maybe, who knows?
So anyway, at the end of the Sine Die party, the Attorney General shows up drunk, and the trouble begins, right?
When did you find out about it?
So, Mara, knowing how I am, and people have asked me this, like, why didn't you do something? I'm like, well,
I guarantee you would have.
So the Reardons are a tough bunch.
Yeah. I'm like, my nose is not straight for a reason.
That's a good line.
So
you see my nose?
Yeah, I see my nose. Straight. It's not straight.
It was born straight.
Yep. So she tells me like 2 weeks after.
Really?
And I said...
So 2 weeks after the party?
So we're packing up, So we're packing up her apartment because she stays down there because as a legislator, you're down in Indianapolis for 4 days to 5 days. So it's impossible to drive back and forth if you're from here.
Right.
So she tells me, and I'm like, hey, I'll be right back. I'm just going to, I'll be back. She goes, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to the fucking State House to deal with this guy myself. She's like,
that's what husbands
she's
do.
like, no, you're not.
Dude,
she's like, what
Kevin,
are you going to do?
That?
I said that sounds like the right reaction.
Yeah, I agree.
She says, you're going to.
I'd be like, okay,
she's like, so what's going to happen?
I got to go kick the Attorney General's ass, right?
So you're what? Going to be thrown in jail? I'm like,
then it would have been.
Yeah, crazy husband assaults black Attorney General in State House with stapler, whatever.
So you had a stapler?
No.
Well, I wouldn't be able to get in the State House with that.
Oh, yeah, I would, because I have a pass, you see. So I would have walked right in.
Wow.
So anyway, so she tells me, Matt, I'm going to handle it. And I said, I believe you. She's been down in Indianapolis a long time. She's dealt with a lot of issues with people, and that's the job of a legislator, to deal with people. And so she was able to navigate that system. Right. She is... she's durable and tough.
She's tough.
Mara's tough. She wouldn't have been around for 7 terms.
No. And so she says, I'm going to deal with it. And then Mara finds out about the other women that Hill
was interesting.
Groped.
Because, I mean, honestly, thankfully for Mara, obviously one woman versus the Attorney General is a tough fight.
Man, come on. You know what the story is.
Right. If one woman against Attorney General, you're going to be looking at both saying, okay, one of these people is lying.
Man, let me ask you this. So did she find out about the other women before or after she went public?
Before.
Okay.
So Mara's intention, and you can talk to her about it, I'm not speaking on behalf of her, but her intention was to deal with it directly with Curtis Hill, saying, look, you need to stay the fuck away from me and keep your hands to yourself. Period.
She went to him directly.
She was going to. Then she found out about the other women. She said, now I have a responsibility to bring this to light to the leadership, because she wasn't making a decision just for herself anymore. She was making a decision or this decision was made because there's 3 other women involved. So as a person who's number 3 in the Democratic Party in the House and the caucus chair, she could have said, oh, yeah, whatever. Her words are her words, and I'm just going to go about my business and deal with it. No, she dealt with it. So she introduced that to the leadership, and they took action, and so on and so forth. And so you have all these women, and then
the House decided to do, like, the General Assembly did their own review.
They did an
right?
investigation.
Because that's when the public found out, is after that became public, right?
Right.
So do you think Mara's intent? I mean, again, obviously we can ask Mara this question, so
And we
I'm not
will, by the
holding you
way.
to it,
We
but
will.
Do you think her belief was it wasn't going to go public, or do you think she knew at some point this was going to go public?
I don't know that she was contemplating whether it was public or not. She was contemplating that there was an action taken by this guy that needed to be dealt with. And the fact that he was black, or the fact that he was the attorney general, was immaterial to the actions that were taken by the guy. So she dealt with it in that fashion. So it wasn't like, her first thought wasn't like, I'm going to call the cops.
Right,
well,
right.
okay. I think there were people who said, well, why didn't you just kick him in the balls? She's
Right.
like, well, okay. So
Attorney
I'm
General.
at this thing. This guy's grabbing my ass. We're in a bar. He's the attorney general. And what am I going to do?
Right.
I mean,
By
so
the
there's
way,
like a million.
And Mara's a state rep. Can you imagine how the other women felt? Like,
Right, so
and Mara's a state rep.
right,
And the
so
other
they're-
women who were victimized that
Right.
night.
And they're and it wasn't all white girls. It was brown, and so it was all Republican. Anyway.
Right.
So it
Basically,
had
if you were a
to be
woman,
dealt.
you were in trouble that
Yeah,
day.
it had to be dealt with that way, and that's the way it was dealt with. And then you had the special attorney who kind of punted and said, "I can't get criminal charges," and he basically said, "There's another venue to do this. This is a civil matter."
Right.
And so it went off of there.
And that's because of the preponderance of the evidence standard, right?
Well, I mean, he's got to deal with probable cause. He's got to
Right.
deal with whether or not he thinks he can prove. I mean, at the end of the day, the prosecutor has to decide whether or not he's going to be able to prove the case in court
Beyond a reasonable doubt, right.
So-
But whereas in
because-
civil court, it's by a preponderance.
Sure.
Right.
So that's what happened. So there's the Me Too movement took direct interest in what had happened there because of who it was, and it spoke and smacked of the old boy network and, let's just sweep this under the rug and all that shit that comes along with it. So I'm on fire
during this
about
whole
all
period.
this.
Yeah.
Fire.
So Matt, like this is all happening and the public doesn't even know what's going on.
No.
right? We found out months later when
Yes.
I forgot.
The
Like, it was
report.
in-
Somebody did a records
the general-
request of the report. I think.
Right.
Right.
It was
the
the Indy
report
Star
came
report,
out,
right?
and the Indy Star cracked it because they were able to get a copy of the report. I think is how it went.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken, Matt.
Right. So, I'm like I said, I'm on fire. So, this dirtball's like, oh, hey, and I'm like,
didn't happen, right? That
it started out, didn't happen. They're
Right.
fucking lying.
Right.
They're doing this to just besmirch my name. They're racist. Let's see, what other card did he throw on the table?
Everything.
Oh, I'm Republican. I mean, this prick has a fucking press conference at our office of the Attorney General to defend himself for groping girls
That was
because he was
initial.
drunk in a bar.
That was his initial instinct.
Come on.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm like, who's letting this shit go on? Like, really, who's letting this shit go on? Somebody pulled a guy in. Hey, listen, you need to go apologize, go your ass to rehab, say you're really sorry, and then see what happens. He did none of that. He said, you're a liar, you're racist, you don't understand, and fuck off. And it was like, what? So
let me ask you. So at that point, Mara has not gone public at all yet.
Nope.
All right. And then what's the decision?
the decision is I'm talking to Brian Bosman, I'm talking to the Senate president, and I'm talking to my leader, and I'm going to tell him what happened to me, and I'm going to tell him what those three women told me happened to them, and I want you to do something about it, or I'm going to do something about it.
And Brian Bosman, of course, is the Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House.
Republican Speaker of the House.
Yes.
But has a good relationship with Mara. I know
Yes.
they get along great. Mayor,
Right.
you know.
And the interesting thing is the leadership doesn't necessarily love the Attorney General. Like the Republican Party, traditional
Kind of
Republican,
split over him.
They don't like the governor is not a fan of the Republican Attorney General. The legislature is not a fan, so that adds even more intrigue to this whole
Sure
thing.
does.
Is the legislature trying to go after the Attorney General because of political reasons? Are they trying to use the incident with the representative as a political way to attack
which is
the
what I
Attorney
think
General?
which is what the Attorney General I think started to try to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
Tried to spin it that way that, this is a political witch hunt.
Right. So, Matt, I mean, obviously, I read recently that a federal lawsuit that was filed was dismissed. Does that mean that the case is over, the civil case?
No, they just...
All federal claims got dismissed.
Yes, they said that was the wrong venue to file it.
Right.
And so there's another case pending between...
In
state court.
In state court,
Good, okay.
yep.
Right.
And
That's what we
the
figured.
federal judge just said, no, this is the wrong venue. And the lawyers' job, they're exhausting all of their avenues for recourse against Hill and the state of Indiana. The sad part is, had apologies been made and ownership of the action done, it wouldn't have cost the taxpayers any money. I mean, everybody has a bad day. Some people have more bad days than others,
I've
right?
had a lot of bad days.
Yeah, me too. And consequently, it's like, the thing that just was mind-boggling to me was the fucking arrogance of this guy. I'm like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Like, really? So you're going to gaslight this whole fucking issue all the way to the end because you're a black dude from Elkhart and you're this attorney general? No. No sale.
And Mara wasn't having any of that.
She was having none of it.
Mara-
None of it.
He picked the wrong person.
I mean,
to
none of it.
victimize. He picked the wrong person to victimize. There's no way Mara would stand for that. Like, just knowing Mara, she's tough.
Are you guys? I mean, again, Matt, I know it's Mara's case, but it's in state court and it's continuing.
Yep.
So, what about satisfied with the outcome regarding the suspension? I mean,
Oh,
Attorney
good-
General
good
Hill
question. Yeah.
was just
Suspended for 30 days.
30 days automatic reinstatement.
But
I think.
But we had an attorney general in Indiana that couldn't practice law for a full month because of this
Now,
incident.
they
Well,
really-
funny enough, so in cases that the city and also I privately had where the Attorney General was involved, they had to file a withdrawal of the Attorney General, and then they had to file an appearance back in after the 30 days rolled.
So just think about that aspect. What kind of selfish prick allows this to go on where they can't do their job effectively, and they have to actually be, their law license is suspended. So that has, how many other dominoes does that knock down? Oh, and then a casual, I got people to handle my light work. Dude.
Right.
You were elected to be the attorney general. You don't have a law license. I'm like, whatever. Anyway, I was at that, the hearing with the Shelby. And
Myra Selby
yeah.
used to be a Supreme Court justice, and she was
Correct.
appointed by the Supreme Court to be the hearing officer in the disciplinary case of
right.
Attorney General.
So
Hill.
this guy, it was all like a bad night, and I was just like, I'm sitting there and I'm just eyeballing. I'm like Region style. I'm like,
Yeah, man.
got like this.
people
crazy
from the
eyes.
people from the region know that look.
I'm like,
Okay, so as discussed, that was a pretty visceral reaction from Matt Reardon, and it was really insightful and enjoying. I enjoyed that interview a lot with Matt.
Matt was great. Like I said, I think that was definitely the most powerful part of the interview, in my opinion. And an excellent guest. And quite frankly, for husbands out there whose wife would be groped on by powerful elected officials, how you would react. I mean, that's what I thought was so interesting about. He wanted to kick his ass. He basically said, I was giving him the Region stare.
Yep.
You know?
Hey, you know what? Before we hit our next ones, we should do the rest of our sponsors.
Oh, let's do that.
Let's do it.
You want to start?
It's a
You want
new
me to?
format. Here we go.
Well,
Come on.
Okay, here we go. Grizzolia's Concrete.
No, that's not how you do it. Like,
Hey, Tom, have you
Tom.
ever had any concrete projects at your house that you need? Because I have.
Why, yes, Kevin, I certainly have. I had Grizzolia's Concrete come into my backyard and pour a whole new patio right
Did you
around
know
my
they were
pool.
also rated #1 in the region by the Times?
Hey, Bernie Griziola also built a brick oven for my brother Aaron in the backyard. We cooked a pizza in 3 minutes
Was that because of his brickwork?
because Bernie knows how to build ovens even. He's great. He could build a pool deck. He could build an oven. Heck, he could even paint your house.
I don't think he. No.
Bernie's like, what the hell?
He's a concrete man. But anyway,
we
call
cover it?
Grizzolia's Concrete. I think we did.
659-4127. 659-4127.
Grizzolia's Concrete.
Okay, let's do the next one that way. Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin,
Yes.
I'm getting the crap suit out of me. You have any ideas?
No, you're supposed to say, like, I just got hit by a truck.
Oh, my bad. Let's do it again. Ready?
Ready.
Hey, Kevin, I just got hit by a semi.
You know what? I've been so busy with this podcast. Call Steve.
Smith Sursick, attorney at law.
933-7600. Give Steve a call. He'll even do a Zoom appointment. I've seen him do it.
Steve is definitely the
He's
brains
the brains
of
of
that.
this. He's the
No
brains
doubt
of this
about it.
operation, without a
Like,
doubt.
Kevin's the politician. Steve is the brains.
I got a bone to pick with Steve, though.
Uh-oh.
Really? What's the
Yeah,
matter?
he's probably watching right now.
He is.
probably
He
is.
follows along.
You know, Steve and I are fellow English
Yes.
majors.
Yeah.
And we've always been talking about, like, we got to get together, get a drink, talk about English lit and all this stuff.
By the
So
way, I didn't mean to interrupt. You know who else is
this is
English
boring,
major?
isn't it?
No,
English
no.
lit.
You know who else is English major? Marissa McDermott.
Whoa.
Ann Anderson.
Did not.
Yeah, Ann Anderson.
What?
Yeah.
We should have an English major club.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
you
a
should.
blast. Boy, sounds like so exciting.
You and the girls. That'd be great.
You calling Steve a girl?
No,
Come on.
I'm saying him and the girls.
Him, Steve, and the girls.
We totally just derailed your story.
Yeah, so go ahead. What's the bone to pick with Steve?
You and
So
Steve
anyway,
are going to
so
read
the
Shakespeare
other-
or something?
The other night, the other night, this quote, I thought of this Ralph Waldo Emerson quote. He's one of my favorite. And I texted to Steve. I cannot remember the last time I've texted Steve, but I
Uh-huh.
texted this quote to him. That's it, just the quote.
Yeah.
He never responded.
And that is crazy because Steve is
He's
very
like-
good at responding.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
He
Never
texted me
responded.
that night, though. He said, John Besmar is a total
There's
dork.
a weirdo sending
is
me
this-
Ralph Waldo Emerson quotes. Do you know whose number this
might
is?
not
Who is
have
this
me
freak
saved.
show?
Do you know whose number this is?
Who is this freak sending me these Ralph Waldo Emerson
Now
quotes?
he
That's the
knows.
thing. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He may not have my number.
Really?
He's like, oh,
It
this is
couldn't
that
be.
guy that loved Ralph Waldo Emerson from college.
Yeah.
I
There's
hate
some-
that dude.
there's some
I'm
psycho-
not responding.
Some psycho sending Ralph Waldo Emerson quotes to me.
Well, that's romantic, at least.
Yes,
All right, so
some
man-
some psycho killers do that too.
A man is what he thinks about all day long. That was the quote.
I like it. We should make that as like the sub.
That is a weird thing, though, to text
He's
somebody.
like, John, are you? Have you
Yeah.
been drinking?
Or like, are you saying you're thinking about me, John?
John, is that about me or
Well,
you?
no.
Or
I
both
just-
of us?
Yeah, I just thought of Steve because it was a.
I like it. Well, because he's smart enough to actually think about the quote, right? So
Right,
like you
yeah.
are. So they'll.
If he
Versus
sent that to
texting
me,
you.
I'd be
No,
like,
I'd be like,
all right.
what, no, did we have a question mark emoji or like
Yeah.
I would do like a smiley face.
a upside down face emoji?
Yeah.
Um,
Ron Pressemer Insurance
Anyway.
Agency. Oh,
no,
Smith
Smith
Sursick.
Sursick.
Dude, you should
Dot
pay
com.
$500 for what you guys
Per
today.
episode.
We talked about it for like 5 minutes.
good job.
Ron Pressemer Insurance Agency.
On the Boulevard, Ron and Ronnie, great guys. They're very, very good. In fact, they helped us substantially at the Sportsplex when we had when we opened up, and it was all about like, what do we need? How do we insure sports? Because think about it, you
They
have
specialize
so
in a
many,
wide variety.
including a lot of business stuff. But we have our business insurance with them. But could you imagine like, how do you insure a Sportsplex and make sure that you're covered? All the kids going through there, all the sporting events, what you need to do.
What else
were-
they do? They do a fest for us too.
Don't
they?
No, they don't do fest, but they
Never
do a lot
mind.
of the park. They do park stuff. They do a lot of business stuff, and they insure your committee to elect.
Yes, they do.
So
And by the way, my committee to elect needs to be insured because you never know what's going to come out of this mouth.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why they're insured.
Ron
Thank you,
Pessemer
Ron
Insurance
Pessemer.
Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses around the Chicagoland and the Midwest. They're on the boulevard.
They
There's
sure
no
are.
phone number.
The best end of the boulevard.
The best end of the boulevard.
All right, we're back at it.
All right.
Best of show.
So as long as we keep on ripping on Tom McDermott Jr., I did a really embarrassing episode in Chicago in front of about 30 people, just to be
And the
consistent with
self-deprecation.
the
theme.
mayor, my dad wiping out on a bike and breaking his hip. Well,
You
I
want
didn't,
him to be alone.
I didn't break my hip, but it was just as embarrassing. Why don't we cover that one real quick before we head to China?
Let's do that.
All right.
Wham is now the only night ride in the Chicago metro area.
Yep.
I mean,
They got
it's
rid of
Chicago
Chicago?
canceled. Yeah.
Chicago got rid of theirs, and of course,
Remember that year you and I did that?
Yes.
Want to hear a funny story?
We were there.
Yeah, so
I was
viewers
there.
need to know this. Yeah, we go downtown, and there's about 20 of us that
Thank
go?
you,
Yeah,
Gary
right.
Gleason, for helping us get up there.
Right,
Right.
Gary gets a flatbed. We go up there, and the mayor jumps on his bike, and he's like showing us. He's like showing us, like how great a bicyclist he is, and you are a good bicyclist. But you're like showing us right in the middle of Michigan Avenue, and there's cars going by you, and how you didn't get run over is
Well-
beyond me.
Well, don't forget the wipe.
Well, this is so funny. You gave away the story.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like
Oh, yeah.
everybody was sitting there, like at a stoplight, and I was like doing what Tom said. I was showing off, and And I come like tearing up to this, and I was just gonna like
Right
lock
near
it up.
Buckingham Fountain.
And I was gonna lock it up and like skid, right? And I'm like showing everybody how cool I am, right? And I'm like 45 probably at this time, and I come barreling towards Tom and probably 20 Northwest Indiana region residents. All of them know who I am, and I lock up my brakes, and there was like a fine gravel at this intersection, And when I locked up my brakes, I just lost my bike, and it just like flew out from under me.
It was awesome.
I completely wiped out in front of 30 people. Everybody was like, "There you
They
go."
were worried about you for a second. Then it was a lot of
I was
laughter.
like bleeding before the race even started.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. You know, that really happened
It did happen.
right in front of all of our faces.
It wasn't my fault. It was all
Wait a
very.
minute. What do you?
It was like gravel.
How
If
could
I
it
would have
not be your
known,
fault, though?
if I would have known there was a gravelly surface, I would have never showed off like that.
You had never tried to show off.
That's right.
Like that because you really ended up not showing off.
I was trying to show off, but I was expecting ideal circumstances.
And you like expected, well, like, okay, so how in your mind, how was it going to end up?
It was going to be like this. It was going to be like
There's 35 people here
waiting across the street,
watching me.
and up comes Mayor McDermott, screeching
Stud.
in, back tire, leaving a big long.
And everyone like
Yes.
clapping.
Yes.
A standing ovation.
Like he's freaking
he is as
cool.
cool as I thought he was.
Cool mother mayor. They would have come up with something expletive, but they would have been
love
like, I want to be like him.
I cannot believe he just did that. Our
He is.
mayor is that cool.
He's a beast.
You know what? That is exactly what we would have said.
That's what I was
He's a
hoping
beast.
for.
Didn't quite end up that way, but
It did
was
not
a funny
end up.
moment.
They did say a lot of things, though.
And I'm not kidding you. The best part about that, though, was Mayor came up laughing.
Dude.
He was laughing
And bleeding.
his ass off when he got up. He's like, I can't believe it.
And freaking bleeding. I was going pretty fast.
It wasn't, yeah.
It
You
didn't
still-
turn
but
out.
It didn't stop you from doing the midnight ride, though.
No, it did not.
You did it.
By the way, so Tom Dabberton was the one nice enough to tell everybody about that embarrassing story. So let's tell an embarrassing story about Tom Dabberton.
The turnabout's fair play.
Because I got a good one, right? Tom Dabberton and I traveled to China together.
And you mentioned he was the biggest man in China that you saw while you were there.
There's 1 billion people in China, Kevin. I don't know if you knew
There's
that.
more than 1 billion.
Okay. I think Tom Dabberton was the biggest person in China.
That day or that week?
I didn't see anybody bigger, and I saw a lot of...
Ever.
So we get to China. It's
Like he
in-
said, the coat fit my one
It was a
hand.
triple X. And so we were like, and that's when I realized sizes are not universal because we were out there. It's March. So we go out there dressed for March.
Sure.
Right? But it was flat
March in
cold.
China's cold, right?
Like 0
Wow.
local. It was cold, right?
0 Celsius or 0 Fahrenheit?
0 Fahrenheit. It was like cold like that. Like you could see your breath. It was definitely not, you weren't hanging out, right?
Right.
So basically we decided we're going to go shopping for Tom to get him a jacket because he's freezing, right? Not in China, baby.
You're like, can I get a triple X, please?
He would have had to leave the country.
I wonder,
Yeah.
like where? Where would be the country that
there
has a
isn't a
regular?
person.
Where's a regular triple X around there? You're in Asia.
We got one.
Sure.
He got it on one arm.
Oh my.
So like, Tom is like a quadruple X in China, or
Quintuple.
quintuple China,
Sextuple.
quintuple X, right?
Octuple.
But anyway, he didn't get the jacket. But so we decided we're going to play basketball on Chinese television.
Well, you would think Tom's pretty good at basketball. He's big, tall.
Okay, like you give me his size, I'd be in the NBA right now, right?
Oh,
Let's just leave it at that.
You're right. Let's just leave it at that.
So anyway, we're playing against a Chinese team, and we were representing our country.
all right. How did it end up? Let's listen.
We embarrassed our country.
I want to clarify something from an earlier show. Okay,
Uh-oh.
the mayor tells a story
All right, we've already made
about
mistakes.
China. No, he tells a
China.
story about China.
Yeah,
okay,
it was a good trip.
about the tea.
Yeah.
all right, and all I can
was
say
like
is
the
it's absolutely
20,000
true.
tre-
It was like $20,000 a cup. All right, and we're sitting
There's
there.
a lot of people there.
And it tasted worse than swamp water. It was horrible. It was horrible.
I drank it.
It was, you drank it and you're like, oh yes, really good. And it's like you're like
I didn't
fighting
spill
back.
any. It
No,
happened.
you didn't. But it was wow.
It was crazy. We met some incredible. It was an incredible trip.
was an
Remember
incredible
the
trip.
basketball game we played with?
Don't remind him.
It was
No,
on ESPN.
Yeah, don't remind me. But I'll tell you what.
It was on China's ESPN. It was,
What's that
But-
called?
I don't know.
CSPN.
It was
it's a knockoff. I can tell you that.
It was like 37
Same logo.
degrees. It was like freezing
Dude, it was
cold.
so
It was
cold.
Yeah, it was freezing. I'm just like standing. I'm shivering.
So
You're
this is
trying
how
to
it
throw
goes
me the
down.
ball. My hands are shaking.
We were working, okay? And then part of this was, okay, we're going to take you to this school. It was an amazing school. It was like a
Right.
boarding school. And we're going to go speak to the kids. And then after that, there's this huge basketball game. It's going to be televised. And I had a team. I mean, I don't remember, 8, 9 people in our delegation.
There was about 9 of us. Yeah.
And we made sure that I had a basketball team in that delegation because we knew before we even flew out that we were playing a Chinese team, right? I'm not a basketball player. So we get out there, and Tom Dapperton's like the biggest person in China. Right?
Yeah, everybody's walking, looking.
you mean
Bar
tall-
none,
you mean
right?
tallest.
Remember when you tried to get a jacket because it was colder,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
so
right.
Tom had to go get a coat, and like there
We
wasn't a
don't
coat
have-
in
we don't have
China.
a coat your size.
There was it was hilarious. We
They had a
actually
coat that would cover one arm. That was
so anyway, we're like
Up to the elbows.
So we go to the school, and I'm speaking to the Chinese students, and then we get done, and it was raining and cold, right?
oh, it was horrible.
It was like rainy, like cold, like
And you're like, they're not going to
it was an outdoor court. I'm like, no, I'm not playing basketball sport. I'm not good at outdoor in the rain. It's just not happening, right? So they were really concerned. They're like, oh my God, this is gonna be horrible. And they're like, can you just please just go out there and just say hi to everybody?
Now, when you roll up, there's how many people?
So we get in a bus and we roll up. They had, Tom, I'm not going to exaggerate.
Thousands of people
Yes.
out there. Yeah.
Outside in the rain, thousands waiting for us. And I'm like, so we pull up. I'm like, let's get our stuff on. We're playing basketball, right? Like these people are sitting in the
You
rain
have a
waiting
mascot
for
waiting for you.
They
And-
had
and
like
you're trying to
mascots
catch-
waiting for us.
Should be
Right,
in the
but you're
Mascot
trying
Hall
to
of
catch.
Fame.
You're trying to catch a wet ball. Okay,
Yeah.
a wet ball that's covered with like snow and ice and rain.
Why do
and it
I
was
sense
just-
excuses here?
Yeah,
It's
you know
like,
what? 'Cause
we
it
know
was
the
hor- it
Chinese
was
guys
horrible.
didn't have any problem.
It was horrible. Yeah, because you know what? They were cheating. They were drying the ball.
Yeah,
But-
they were
but I'll
calling,
tell
they
you
were
what,
calling
there's-
us ticky tack.
There's another story that
Chinese
actually I want
refs.
to tell about our China
We
trip, which-
embarrassed our country though. Like we had
Yes,
to.
we did.
We
We
lost
did.
to Chinese in the American
lost.
sport.
That is
Yes.
not acceptable.
But
It was embarrassing.
I'll tell you what, the best story I think.
I
about
made the
China
rest of the
trip-
crew fly home early.
Yeah,
I was
you're
so
like, you gotta
embarrassed.
get
the
back.
hell out of this
the
country.
best story of the China trip is when you said to me, we're in Beijing, and you said, hey, you know what? Let's sneak away and really see what Beijing is
That was
like.
awesome.
Okay, so
We went without an interpreter,
we go without an interpreter,
which is impossible.
right. And over
It's
there,
impossible.
yeah, the interpreters are also like minders. Okay, so they're kind of keeping track.
Well,
of
yeah.
where you're
Remember,
going.
we had two interpreters.
Communist Party.
We had one
Communist
interpreter
Party.
we liked. She was nice, and we had the communist.
right.
And the communists never smile.
They were probably both communists, but she was
But
the nice
they were
communist.
both. But like we had the
She
nice.
was a nicer communist.
She was an English teacher, so she was like you could tell she was like pro-American. By the
Remember, her
way,
nickname was Sophie.
Sophie was she
Sophie,
was so
yeah,
nice.
she
And
was
then the
nice.
other one was like a hard ass. And then they would have people following us around with TV cameras, and we're like, "Wow, we're on TV." And then after a while, you're like, "I don't know if we're
maybe
on
they're
TV
just
or
Not on
they're
TV, they're
filming
just
us."
tracking us. So the mayor comes up with this idea. He's like, hey, Tom, come on. You're adventurous. He goes, you and I, we're going to sneak out that service door out of the hotel, and we're going to go see the real Beijing.
Those
So we
camera
go-
guys, the minders won't find us.
Right. So we go running down
interpreter.
the street.
No interpreter.
Remember, we get to the bird's
It's the
nest.
last. It was the last day.
Right.
of
We
the
go to the
trip,
bird's
right.
nest, and we get to the bird's nest, and the mayor says, wow, this is beautiful. And he's go, but man, I smell something.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he realizes that the river in front of the bird's nest is just an open sewer.
It was nasty.
Oh, it was
Beijing.
nasty.
In the Olympic
Capital
Village.
city.
In the Olympic Village.
This is where they held the Olympics. And it had a sign in it that said, "Do not swim." I'm like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
Didn't need that
I'm glad
sign
that was
there.
in English.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
And then on the way back, he comes up with the idea, we're going to take a shortcut through this neighborhood.
This is
We
so
went
cool.
through one of these wet markets, okay, that you hear about.
Yeah.
We
COVID.
went through one.
We did.
And we're
COVID
standing
started
there,
in the wet market.
and the mayor says, you know, hey, I'm in the I was in the Navy, you know, I can
Wuhan.
take this. And we go through, and right then, this lady comes up to us and she says, like, chicken. And she just, remember, she had the live chicken. She just cut the head off
Maybe-
right in front of us.
Maybe
True story.
Dapperton started COVID.
But I'm telling you, yeah, right.
Yeah,
but
could
like
be.
seriously, that's you remember that very well, don't
Oh,
you?
yeah, absolutely.
Because we were like led around like little doggies. We were led around the whole time, and finally we broke the chains and went out of
We
our
broke
own.
free.
We did, but
Yeah,
like,
and then we came back and they're all like staring us down. It's like, you know, the mayor's like, okay,
Yeah.
we're in trouble.
Well, speak.
I did drink every drop of that tea.
I would
And-
hope so. At that, like, what's a like price per drip?
I didn't pay. Obviously,
Is
we
that even
didn't pay.
possible to figure that out?
I'm telling you.
Now, let me ask you this because I forgot to ask you this. So regarding the tea, like I think of like a little teacup. You know, like
Yeah,
was
it
it
was-
like the size of that?
No, it was not that big. It was small.
the size of
It was
this?
delicate, super delicate, smaller.
Small,
It was,
like a real
yeah,
teacup.
and like super
Like
delicate.
one that you could like.
Yes.
Like this, like drink like this.
It was like no, you did. You were like this, like finger through, like one of these.
You could get the finger through.
And like if it's
boy.
so expensive, if it pulls in, it's proper protocol to go.
because
like
it's that expensive.
I was
Like,
just kidding about
like
that.
To the saucer into your mouth.
Yes. No, it was expensive, but we were with some tech, some guy that went to Stanford, obviously, you know, native to China, attended school at Stanford, came back to China. He was living in Guangzhou, and he's a billionaire.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was not afraid to spend a lot of money. It It was a very expensive tea shop we were in, and then they took us to the very back. And this is a big thing in China. It's the equivalent of what we call Starbucks, except for a very, very extremely expensive.
And people complain about a $4 cup of
extremely
coffee.
expensive.
This is a $20,000 cup of coffee.
Yeah,
cup of tea.
it was a group. It was we had a good conversation, and then we embarrassed our country playing the sport our country developed.
And never won and never lost the Olympics.
By the
except
way,
once.
if we'd have played them at baseball, it would have been a different story.
Oh, you think you had a baseball team with you? I'm gonna go.
Knew I
don't think you
I knew
did.
I had a pitcher shortstop, so
Well, you had that going.
yeah. I had to put Dabberton at first base.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phil in right field.
Phil would have been solid.
Yeah. Phil second base.
Yeah.
I
He would
think
have been a
Phil's
good
second
bat boy.
baseman.
Second base.
Bat boy.
I had Joe Smith too.
Center
Shortstop,
field.
Third base.
Center.
Center. Okay.
Fast.
Okay. Who's my catcher?
I was thinking Dabs, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to think about that.
All right. Next time.
Bobby.
All
Lindy.
right. We got to wrap up here. People got shit to do this
Yeah, they
morning,
do.
so we can't be hanging out with us all morning.
Yes. So you want to talk about this exciting analogy you made of the podcast, where somehow you've self-determined that you're the locomotive, and
I was just trying to illustrate for our audience, like if we were a train, which parts I would be, which parts you would be, which parts Vez and Lindsay would be. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
I think I would give you that as mayor.
Right.
The locomotive.
Oh, yeah.
As mayor, at City Hall, you are for sure the locomotive, without a doubt.
Okay.
There's no
but
question.
when I walk in this podcast,
we can't figure out where you are right now.
I'm in steerage.
We're not sure. We're not sure.
So far, there isn't an engine. On
No,
this
it's off the rails,
Well,
especially without Lindsay here.
Yeah,
that's
Lindsay,
obvious.
Yeah, we need a woman's touch in here for sure.
Without
but
a doubt.
I thought that was a funny clip.
It's great.
I was in fine form that morning.
You were.
Much like this morning, I'm.
We've had fun this morning.
Drinking my coffee, but that morning I don't know what it was. I was in fire when I got in the studio.
I had so many. That's another one where, like, when it's going on, I'm like, is this going to be funny in reality? And then after the show, I got a lot of texts that day from people like, I love the locomotive. It was great. John, right?
I was embarrassed. Marissa was like, a locomotive? You're a powerful locomotive. I'm like, yes, honey, I'm a powerful locomotive.
She's like, oh, she's just shaking her head.
That's what she does all day long.
I'm sure.
When I get home, I'm
she
like,
loves
good
you.
show. And she's just like, who the hell are you?
Locomotive.
She's saying that in her head. She's nice
in her
enough to
head.
say,
You're
"Hey,
right.
yeah.
In
her
head.
head, she's like, I don't know who this guy is anymore.
He's gone off the rails.
Should I be concerned?
Let's listen, because it's a great one. It's a good way to finish the show.
Powerful locomotive.
We're going to come back after this and finish up.
Okay, yeah, I got a good show and tell. So,
ooh, stay tuned.
Yeah.
John, I don't know if I like this analogy. This train analogy.
It's interesting.
I love the train analogy.
It's very region, though. A lot of trains.
I'm not going to talk. I'm not a South Shore empty train. I'm talking a full, powerful, steam-driven locomotive.
One of those two double-decker ones that keep rolling through the
just
region.
Like when you see like a locomotive that's just like silver and just powerful.
I don't see many of those.
And then we know where you are. You're the caboose.
Yeah,
and the cabooses are important.
I guess I'll take the caboose. It usually has a couch and somewhere to sleep in there.
There is. Yeah, it's nice. It's like one of those little frilly couches. Yeah. Not very comfortable.
No.
You don't see cabooses
been there for 40 years.
Anymore,
no,
though.
you don't.
I dropped it.
Just a flashing light. That should tell you about my future.
You know why, John? The caboose.
Tom's like, you're the caboose. They existed about 15, 20 years ago.
Cabooses
they're
aren't
gone
that
now.
They're fading away now.
Fading away.
Unless you commute on it, the cabooses aren't that important. You can do without a caboose.
They don't even exist. They become a flashing light.
But can you do without the locomotive, John?
No.
That's right. Locomotive. Without a locomotive, you're just sitting
Kind
there.
of a selfish part of the podcast, I think, Lindsay.
Hey, it's all right, man. I mean, everybody's
I
got
just
their role.
suggested to John that we should start the next episode with the Thomas the Tank Engine theme song.
Oh,
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's accurate, but like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Like, the caboose is super important.
I mean, yeah, but you're just like, I appreciate that, but it's a flashing light now. I mean, they don't
Dude,
exist.
without the caboose, if the train got rear-ended,
But
then you would damage the most important part of the train.
Okay, when
the locomotive.
When we were using Stevie Nicks posters on our walls,
they
had cabooses.
What are you using, Stevie
When we
Nicks
had
for?
them.
That is a gross analogy. When I was
Stevie
using
Nicks
my poster, like, what are you using?
Let's dig into that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to. What
at
is
least
it
then-
using? How do you use a poster,
I
Kevin?
don't know. All right, so I'll let everybody else be the judge on whether you're the engine or not.
Oh,
we truly believe. We truly know that you believe you are.
Why don't we do a poll there, John?
Here
What part of the train does Mayor Tom belong to? The locomotive, steerage,
boxcar? Where all the hobos hang out.
or the caboose.
Are there other
Tanker.
parts of
I'm
a
very
train?
confident in my polling abilities,
Yeah,
Kevin
there are.
Smith.
Yeah, what's the second car called? Oh, the coal car.
Who cares what the second car is
Coal
called?
car.
Nobody pays attention to the
And
second car.
by the way,
Just for the
you know,
poll.
I just want to make a point here. You kept saying like a steam engine. Like there's no steam engine. Everything's diesel.
Where I come
There's
from.
no steam engine.
where I come from. there's
Okay,
a
well,
steam engine.
speaking of that, why don't we go with
Yes.
show and tell?
By the way, I bought Thomas the Tank Engine.
Oh, does that look powerful?
It is very powerful. I don't know if he ever watches the show. but
Wow.
This is
I
the
gotta
most
get it.
powerful
The
steam
island of
engine.
Sodor in Tom's Fantasyland, where he's the engine.
That's right, I am. That's right, I am. See? I spent $10 on this for the show, by the way. I
Thank
do
you.
expect reimbursement from left of
Talk
center.
to Lindsay.
Yeah.
She's in charge of reimbursement.
I want reimbursement for this. I did spend my hard-earned money on this Thomas the Tank. And then, of course, after I ordered it and sent it to my house, just about everybody I knew was starting to send me Thomas the Tank Engine.
Really?
Yeah, from the original show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I spent $10.
We've got a lot of Thomas
is
the
our
Tank
trinket.
at home. I
love
love it.
Oh, I'm glad you tell me now after I spent
I
$10
did
of my
tell
hard-earned
you, and you
money.
said you already ordered it.
As
So
my-
let's
I
just full
spent $10.
disclosure.
So I'm going to park it over here next to my dad.
Yeah, put it by the best mayor.
Best mayor. We need more room over here. I don't
Get
know.
it away
Who the hell is
from. Get it
Vesmar?
out of my sight line.
When's Vesmar taking care of this crap?
Wow.
There you go.
There you go,
Thomas
John.
the Tank.
Beautiful wall in this.
gonna have to
Look
start
at we're
back
starting to
in.
get some stuff over here. I like it.
All right.
So, how do you subscribe to the show, Kevin Smith?
Well, you subscribe by going to Apple Podcasts. We've talked about it. It's a great way to listen, especially if you're on the road, taking a shower, taking a bike
Taking a
ride,
shower.
going for a run. What are we gonna call this one?
Best of, right?
Best of question mark.
Best of question. Oh, how about this one? Best quotation marks of, right? Best of, like
Volume 1.
like best, like
And it'll
this
be
is
the last one ever. Like there never is there's never going to be a volume 2.
It's like what was that movie? History of the World Part 1. There was
Like
no
never.
other.
That's great.
All right. Well, it was fun doing
Best
the best of.
of.
I hope
That's-
everybody liked
It's pretty
it.
sad. This is the best you got. So
That's all we got. That's all
we'll
we
be
got.
back Friday making more best
Yeah.
great.
See everybody Friday.
Right.